Okay, so thank you for joining me again today, Cynthia. Last time we were together, we went over the basics of the Hong Sau technique. And today I'm going to share some ideas for how to deepen your practice, tips for really diving in. And then we'll do a little guided practice together. And we'll end with an affirmation in our expansion stage that I will lead. And when we do the affirmation portion, I have an affirmation that I'm going to share. And normally first, the purpose of affirmation. So the purpose is to sort of raise our consciousness and affirm a truth as our reality, even if we're not quite there yet. It helps us move it helps us try to experience living in that reality. So the affirmation I'm going to use with us today is basically about abundance in life and the faith that what you need will be provided for. You know, as the world is going through coronavirus and a lot of uncertainty, I have found in my own practice, it's very helpful to affirm that positive reality that I am cared for and I am safe in this universe. So we'll end with that affirmation. And normally, to really harness the power of affirmation, we're using the power of words and the mind to bring ourselves into, just knowing, a higher sense of knowing. But for this, because we're on Zoom, I will do the affirmation out loud and I'll ask you to repeat it internally. If you decide to use affirmation in your own practice, you will actually do it aloud for yourself. And we try to do it 5 times. First loud, really bringing the power of sound into the practice, and then in a speaking voice, and then in a whisper, and then silently, mentally, and then one more time mentally, trying to take it deeper into our subconscious. So it's like we're telling ourselves on every possible level that this is our truth and we want to live this truth. So anyway, we'll end with that. And I'll do the actual affirmation and you can repeat it mentally. So before we dive into our practice, I'm going to share some tips for better meditation that I have found through the years, and I'll try to keep it brief. Once we get the technical process of meditation down, we come to, how do I get more out of this practice? And the first place I like to start is preparation for the practice of meditation. If we are preparing ourselves to move into our practice thoughtfully, we will end up getting more out of our practice in benefit of what we're looking for, right? So the body is a really big part of that preparation for me. If you're a kinesthetic person, you'll find that to be true. For the body, I like to do yoga asanas before I sit to meditate, because it helps me to calm myself physically before I try to sit and totally stop movement or almost entirely stop movement. And so I find that for many, many people, yoga asanas are a really wonderful way to prepare for having a deeper meditation practice. Yogananda also has energization exercises, which I know you're familiar with. There are 36 practices that are all about engaging the body and learning to use your energy, moving it through your body. And doing that before you sit to meditate will have an amazing impact on the depth of your experience in meditation. So those are 2 valuable tools that I use a lot. So that's the body in my mind. Another way to go deeper is the heart. So for the heart, there are, I mean, a wealth of amazing resources for how to engage your heart into the practice of meditation. And when I say the heart, I don't mean the wild emotion. I mean the deep, calm feeling. But chanting is something that benefits my practice a lot. And I would say one of the beauties of chanting, if you know any chants or inspirational songs, can also be what you use if that's what you know. But the benefit is there's something to me that's, in general, that's deeply vulnerable and expanding about singing. It just, you can't fight the opening up of yourself when you open your mouth and you sing. And it has an immediate impact on opening the heart. So to do that before you move into your practice, I think I can say every major spiritual tradition has a tradition of music because of its power for that. Visualization is my other awesome heart practice. And what I do often is actually, visualization is really pulling on your imagination in order to go bring about some sort of experience. So I think back to a time when I was deeply heart open, had my heart wide open. And so for me, I've been on many pilgrimages to beautiful, uplifting places. So for me, it's San Marcos Cathedral in Venice, or it's a temple in the Himalayan mountains from when I have been there. So I'll imagine myself in that place. And you can think back to what are the moments in your life where you felt uplifted and heart open. And do give yourself that at some time to imagine yourself there before you start your practice. And it's a total joy. And then one last tip before we go into our practice that I love, so simple, is the mind. So for me, you'll often find, everybody finds that, we want to keep our focus here up at the prefrontal lobe, at the point between the eyebrows. We went over that last time, but it's really easy to have that sort of go away in your practice, to forget that part. And so before moving into your practice, I find it really beneficial just to touch the point between the eyebrows physically for a moment, and then release that touch. And it makes it all the easier to focus at that point. I think that's why in India they wear bindis, just to, here, it's right here. But even in your practice, if you find in your practice of Hong Sau that the attention has gone away and you're really having trouble with the restless mind, sometimes it's valuable to pause, touch, release, and go back into your practice. Some days are just like that. So those are my tips before we get started. Any questions?
No, that was the best explanation I've ever heard of that. I'm very impressed. That was really good, really
Oh,
helpful.
oh, good. I'm really glad I could be helpful. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to meditate together. Let's start by getting a nice, comfortable seat. You want to make sure that your knees are a little below your hip level and spine is comfortably straight. Shoulders, I like to give them a roll because I'm a computer person. So anyway, rolling the shoulders back, letting the shoulder blades relax down the spine. Chin just slightly tucked a little bit so you can feel the back of the spine elongate. We'll close our eyes and start with focusing at the point between the eyebrows. Let's do our little trick. We'll take a hand and touch the forehead there. Feel that touch and then release your hand down. Palms will be face up at the juncture between the hips and the thighs, comfortably there. And we'll start with a double inhale and tensing the whole body. And let it out through your nose and mouth. Feel relaxation. And then again, double inhale, tensing the whole body. Relaxing all that tension. Feeling that relaxation of all your muscles. And let the breath be calm. We're going to move into the even count breathing that we did last week, but this time we'll focus on adding the full yogic breath to the practice. So let's put the right hand on the belly the left hand on the belly, the right hand on the rib cage on your side. And when you inhale, feel like your belly is a balloon filling up. What's really filling is your diaphragm. But just imagine it's like a big balloon and you fill up from the bottom all the way to the top of the chest rising at the end of the inhale. So we're going to do this to a count of 6. Before we do it to an even count, let's just take one big inhale, feeling the belly and ribs expand, the upper chest, and then letting it all out through the nose, drawing the belly and the ribs back in like you're squeezing the balloon out. One more time, inhale and exhale, drawing it all back into the spine. And now we'll release the hands back down to your thighs, palms up. And we'll do this with an even count, but again, continue to fill the belly like a balloon with each inhale and drawing it in with the exhale. So we'll start by exhaling all the breath and then begin the inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Feel that big balloon. Hold. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Release it out. And now just let the breath relax. Moving as it feels to, without control. Begin to notice the breath entering the nose and exiting. Notice where it enters. Feel it drawing up. Feel it releasing down. With this slow observation, feel the breath and the mind calming, relaxing. We'll now add the mantra with each inhale. Hong internally chanting Hong. With each exhale, Saw. I am spirit. Hong Sau. Moving with the breath, without control. Notice as the breath becomes shallow and slow. Notice the peace behind the Hong Sau. If the mind wanders, bring it back gently to the point between the eyebrows, to the breath, to the mantra. Now let's add the right index finger as we did before. With the inhale, Hong, gently draw that right index finger toward the body. With the exhale, Saw, release it back out. Let the gentle movement deepen your concentration on the breath, on the mantra. Notice the breath, the pauses between breaths. If they become naturally longer, let those pauses deepen the peace in your heart. Enjoy the pauses, but don't force them. Let them come, let them go. Bringing the mind always back to the breath, to the mantra. Hong Sau. we'll release our formal practice of Hong Sau by inhaling and letting out a triple gentle exhale. Letting the breath expel and rest and return of its own accord. No more mantra or movement. Draw the attention to the point between the eyebrows. Feel the peace from the practice moving from your heart through your whole body, out to the room and far beyond. We'll move now into our affirmation. Again, I will be saying it first loud, then medium, quietly, and then in a whisper. And as I say these words, repeat them internally within yourself, affirming them with all your will. I go forth with perfect faith in the power of omnipresent good to bring me what I need at the time I need it. I go forth with perfect faith in the power of omnipresent good to bring me what I need at the time I need it. I go forth with perfect faith in the power of omnipresent good to bring me what I need at the time I need it. I go forth with perfect faith in the power of omnipresent good to bring me what I need at the time I need it. I go forth with perfect faith in the power of omnipresent good to bring me what I need at the time I need it. Let the power of those words sink deep from the subconscious mind to the conscious mind, drawing it upward to the point between the eyebrows, into the superconscious mind, into our highest state. And now let's return to the room together. A big inhale through the nose and an exhale. Bringing your awareness back to your body. Opening the eyes. Any questions?
I just want you to remind me, you prepared the body with yoga postures and energization, the heart with chanting or remembering a time that your heart was very open, like on a pilgrimage. And then what did you say?
And I did the
Oh,
mind by
in the,
literally
yeah,
drawing attention to the point
yeah,
in the mind that you
right.
want to
And
focus.
right. That's so logical.
That's good.
Yeah,
I think.
I know. It's good. Yeah, I like